Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of X4, and today we're going to be talking about the new modules that the Tides of Avarice are bringing in, plus a little bit of a recap over the ones that are coming into 5.0, whether you get the DLC or not, and how they play an important role in the new sectors. First of all, this is a station that has the majority of the new modules. There is a slight spoiler here with an additional module coming into the DLC, however, the remainder of the modules I have placed on another system and they are completely full of spoilers. They will tie in with the new systems and the effects that they have. So if you don't wish to see that, then that'll be later on in the end of this video and I will give a spoiler alert. However, there are a couple of bits on here. There's actually a couple of modules that aren't included in the 5.0 DLC. The 5.0 without the DLC, but they're not that particularly strong, so let's show them off. So the first of all is the new habitat modules. So in style with the kind of salvaging system, you've got these new habitat dorms, basically. So you can see these dormitories here. This is the large dormitory. This is the medium one below it. It's got the same.
Are reminded
Sorry,
that
2
wares
seconds.
on the station are sold without warranties.
Gotta love the station updates.
Awaiting orders.
You can see here they've got the kind of design that you have from the rest of the system, and the ships and stuff like that all bolted together. They look pretty awesome. I like the look of them. We'll go into detail with what they actually do in a minute when I can move over to somewhere a little bit quieter. The last one is the small one there. That's added onto it there. The next new module that comes into the DLC is the casino, which is this module here. We'll have a little bit of a zoom in of that module there. It looks smart, very colourful, very flamboyant. Pretty awesome. Obviously, one of the modules we've already got is the bar module here. That's an additional one that's been put into the DLC, into the 5.0 update. Along with the other modules that are on this station, which is obviously the scrap recyclers and the processing plants, and you've also got the Terran recyclers as well. The Terran ones are not much different to your standard ones. I think they've got a slight coloured variation maybe, but they pretty much look the same. But they do different things. So that's it for the non-spoiler ones. Obviously the casino is one that hasn't been currently covered. But let's have a look what they actually do. So for that, I'm actually going to jump over to my Grand Exchange over here, because it's a little quieter, so we can talk without having the voiceover talking over the top of us.
Entering system. Grand Exchange.
Nice and quiet. There we go. No, why has it took me to... bloody... Go. Personal office. So with a lot of these modules, they have brought in a lot of different rooms and different connectors and stuff like that. And I'll have a look at them in a second. We will teleport back once I finish talking. But let's have a look at what the effects are from the systems. If we go to the logical overview, you can see we've got our scrap, our raw scrap, that processes. Each one processing, so it's 18,000 for 6 of the modules, I believe. I think it does like 3,000 a piece. It's pretty smart. And then obviously you've got your choice between your standard or your Terran. If you do choose to have both, it will split between the two. It does kind of balance out, so it'll only do 2 electronics and 2 hulls, or 3 and 1, as you've just seen it's done there. It kind of balances it out, and it does the same here. It'll do 1 and then 1, then 1, then 1, and it does slowly balance itself out over the time, which is pretty sweet. Obviously, we've got the habitats, which allows us a 1,750 workforce. Obviously, the optimal number is 7,500. Now, what I believe it is 1,000 for the large one, 500 for the medium, and 250 for the small. You can see the expected changes here. What you get here is obviously the base growth of plus 20, your large habitat, which is plus 26% for having just a large habitat. Obviously, the smaller mediums don't give you any bonuses, and your worker welfare, which is the casino and the bar, giving you a total of 70% increase in your expected change. This is basically the growth of your personnel here. So if you want to get your workers up faster, so the amount you have faster, then having casinos and bars is going to help you massively. remember rightly, I think the bar was 30%, so obviously the casino's 40%. But it could be slightly different to that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that is pretty awesome growth there. So you've almost got 100% base growth, which is not bad considering it's not took up much space. And obviously more workers gives you more construction, more resources, more free parts. You know, they give you more stuff that you're not actually paying for, basically. Additional output there. That's from your efficiency, from your workforce, and obviously hull integrity as well. So it's definitely not something that you want to be overlooking. So that's pretty cool to be adding into the DLC. Obviously one of them is already available in the 5.0, so you get that anyway without the DLC. The scrap things we've already discussed, so that's all that is to be said about that. That covers all of the modules that are low-key. Before we go into the next part, and because it's full of spoilers, let's show you the interior of some of the new modules, because some of them do contain interiors, which is pretty sweet. Obviously, we've still got all of our standard usual stuff, you know, the docking areas and all that lot. There are some new added like corridors and stuff that you'll see as you go around. I'm not going to show them because they are randomly generated. However, we do see that we've got the gambling den, which is the bar that I mentioned. I call it a bar because more often than not, it is portrayed as the bar on some of your missions, and yeah, it's a bar. It's kind of a small gambling den, I guess. And obviously the casino as well. So let's check out the gambling den if you haven't already seen it, if you're not playing the 5.0. This is what you get for free. This is another of the free interiors.
Hello.
Pretty sweet.
Hello.
And this is the gambling den. You get a little crafting bench there, which is pretty awesome. Come up here. You got the bar area where nobody's serving. Got some weird ass looking fish. You got closed doors. Guess it isn't technically a bar. See, closed door, because you can actually just walk around. But then it's got drinks on top. So yeah, this would normally be classed as the bar though if you were doing missions. See, these doors are closed as well. They're just aesthetics. But if you have played the 5.0 beta already, you'll recognize this area. Well, this is one of them. Let's check out the casino, which is a much larger module. So you'd expect the interior to also be much larger. And we've got a repeat of the new corridor. And this is the casino. So you've got your little games machines, which you can't interact with, unfortunately. Would be nice to bet some of your credits away. I don't think you can play. Nope, you can't play the roulette or anything. It's just all for show, which is a shame. You can't. I don't even. You can't even talk to the dude. More roulette. More gambling machines, which all look pretty awesome. Obviously, they're all for show. There's huge sign, which you need some glasses to look at. And if you head on up here as well, you get cards table, poker table. Got an off-duty marine. More gambling machines. More card tables. You see, you get a nice little veranda over the top. You get a bar as well, a very fancy bar. And seating areas. Now, you can't sit on these at the moment. They're not like the new terminals that you get. But there you go. That's the new bar area. Sorry, the new casino area, I should say. And, you know, it's actually got an interior, which is nice. You know, they don't have to put interiors in. It could just be a module that's just attached to the ship that does something. But it's giving it a bit of an interior, which is pretty smart. That is one of the new ones that's coming into the 5.0 DLC, Tides of Avarice. So, without further ado, next is what I would consider spoilers. So, if you do not wish to know anything about the next two modules that are coming into 5.0 DLC, Tides of Avarice, then I suggest that is where we part our ways now, and thank you for watching the video. However, if you're still with me, let's check out two other modules. Okay, so as stated, these two modules do play a pivotal role in the Tides of Avarice DLC. This is the Protecton Shield Generator and the Condensate Storage Facility, which is this piece that is attached to it here. They both play an important role in the Avarice sector of the new DLC. Now, if you don't want to know why, then that's it. We're done. You've had your warning. Spoilers are coming. Every time that sun erupts, and it does erupt, and it'll give you a little bit of a warning, so you get like a 10-minute warning and then a 1-minute warning, most of your ships will return to stations. I have tried and tested this, and most of the ships do return. Some are caught out, and you do lose a couple here and there. It is a dangerous job to be working in the Avarice sector. However, it has huge bonuses, and it is definitely worth exploiting, and I'll explain that in a second. But what this Protecton shield generator does, which is a weird ass name, is basically it has a special resource that it uses, and I'll show you in the logistics menu, that basically protects this station and all of its inhabitants from the tide. And the storage facility that's attached to it houses a lot of it. So basically, if the market went dry, then you'd have plenty of resources if you had one of these. One of these holds about 1,000, and it takes 25 for each tide. So you got a fair amount to keep you going. So if you're in a war or something like that and you need to hold out, best having one of these. Well, that's the two new modules that are pivotal to the Tides of Avarice. You see, I've got most of the new modules also attached to the station. You can see the casino's just being built now. The new dorms are together as well. They look awesome. They actually look really awesome when they're attached together. They just blend in so well. And you can see the new scrap facilities are also attached to the station as well. This is pretty much all of the systems together. I've got my ship here floating around, so you can have a look at a bit of a close-up of the ship. There we go. So you can have a look inside here, so we can just see inside and look at the scale of what this bloody thing is. This thing is huge. It's also got 3 connections as well on weird angles. It's like a 35-degree angle. It makes a weird noise, but it's basically a shield generator. But it looks smart, and it is definitely a centerpiece to most of the stations that are in Avarice. And you've got here the condensate storage facility as well. So those who have watched the ships, this is what the condensate ships are designed for. Only one person, as of now, as in before the story is completed, only one person sells the Protecton and the condensate. Therefore, he monopolizes it all and is extremely rich for it. What do I mean by that? Well, let's get back into my ship here. Let's stop it spinning around like a yo-yo. And let's have a look at the logistical overview. Protecton. Storage type condensate. You can see it's 1,005. So actually it may only use 5 charges. I thought it was a lot more than that. You can see the price. 22,500 credits for each unit. You don't use that much of it, but that's still bloody expensive. So if you run out of credits, that's when you're going to have to rely on what your storage is. So it's worth having one of these if you've got a bit of money. If not, you're going to struggle. You'll notice that there is no production cycle with this. There's nothing to produce it and nothing that it produces. This is solely an item that you purchase. So that means that it is being monopolized by one person who somehow has control over it, which I'm not going to spoil. Why would you want to go through all of this? Because energy cells, I have one energy cell module. And the sunlight is 1,390%. That means my energy cells are ridiculously full. They're not at the moment because I've just revamped the station, so it's currently got no container storages. You can see that it's still building part of the station, and I haven't placed the new storage on yet because I've been working on revamping it. Because if you do not have the shield generator built first, it will just keep wiping out your station until you get one of them first. Therefore, I've had to rebuild it, and I haven't put the storage back on yet. I've done it in this order because I wanted everything else built, ready to go, and then I'm going to slot the storages on, and then it becomes useful. Because once it is operational, it will require more travel, basically, more ships and stuff like that, which increases the risk of losing ships to the tide. So one energy cell production generates a hell of a lot of energy cells. It also has a ridiculous amount of resources. Helium, 4,004 million, I'd say that is. 126 million, well, 49k. 126 million hydrogen. 1,091 million ice. 6,915,000 methane. A little bit of neridium. And then 43,663,000. 43 million. So, yeah. That's a lot of resources. Ore silicon's not a huge problem because you got scrap that you can use. But still, 43.63k. It's pretty tasty. So there is risks, but there is rewards. And you got to also bear in mind that you've got worker bonuses. You've also got welfare bonuses. And all them things are going to increase once you got your hull integrity to 100%. Your station is shielded. You're going to be pulling in a lot of energy cells. Which means that you're taking up less space. And you're producing them for your scrap. And scrap is very, very energy hungry. So that is the new modules and what they do and what they're all about. If you've got any questions or anything like that, please feel free to ask them in the comments section. But yep, that's pretty much it. They're pretty awesome. And I'm going to fix this station now that it's finally built the shielding module, because it's cost me an absolute fortune because I forgot. Don't do that in your saves. And you should be good to go. Until next time, everybody, take care for now. And I shall see you all on the next one. Bye-bye for now.